Oh, good. Sorry. Did you get the part about becoming a member? Okay. That's the important part. I'll start with the important part, and that is on Turkey. And I think we can all agree, this is better, that Turkey has enjoyed a remarkable decade of economic growth, really exceeding everybody's expectations. Turkey's young population, its rising middle class, and its export-oriented economic policies have really jolted the nation into becoming one of the world's emerging economic powers. And a great deal of Turkey's success owes to the government's proactive economic policies that have encouraged trade and investment. Turkish businessmen and women can be seen all over the region, all over Africa, Latin America, the United States, building bridges, airports, hospitals, selling manufactured goods, providing services. And this economic activity, paired with the government's foreign policy that emphasizes going back to Turkey's historical roots in the Middle East, have really made Turkey quite influential in the region that the Middle East Institute focuses on. The Turkish model, we've heard a lot about the Turkish model, that's often referred to as an example. Turkey is often referred to as an example of a Muslim country that is able to marry a very capitalist, trade-oriented, modern economic policies in a way that offers Turkey as a bridge between the East and the West, and increasingly so in promoting women, Turkish women, in economic and public affairs. To that point, the Middle East Institute is very honored and delighted to be able to host three extraordinary Turkish business leaders and political leaders who have joined us today. The businesswomen that Dr. Gönül Tol will be introducing in a moment are part of one of Turkey's new business associations that is rapidly expanding throughout the country, TUSKON. TUSKON's business associations in all the cities throughout Turkey pull together to help each other build those connections and expand Turkish trade throughout the world, and to support young entrepreneurs and female-led businesses. So it's my honor today to turn the mic over to the Middle East Institute's Turkish scholar, Dr. Gönül Tol, who will introduce this very impressive panel. Thank you very much.
Well, hello everyone. We are very happy to host such a distinguished panel today. Without further ado, I would like to introduce our speakers. Our first speaker is Ms. Derya Bakbak. She received her bachelor's degree from Gazi University in Ankara in architectural engineering, and she received her master's and Ph.D. degrees at Gazi University in construction engineering, and currently she serves as a member of parliament for Gaziantep. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Derya Bakbak.
Good afternoon, dear guests. We came together to talk about the situation of women, new opportunities and difficulties they experience. I would like to thank Vice Chairwoman Mrs. Rana Tezcan Açıkgöz, to all TUSKON members, to all panelists, to contributors, and to people who spent their precious time and efforts to bring us together. I welcome you all and greet all the women around the world with love and respect. Dear guests, who is woman? The one with creativeness and dedication, a productive and effective member of the family, supporter and protector of our core values, an aesthetic figure of life, and one who makes us remain and feel love, affection, abundance, which makes this life beautiful. In the first place, woman is a human. She is a sankunan to civilization. Man and woman are two parts of one. It is meaningless to separate them and to behave different to one another. Woman as a mother is the first class of education. Quality of breeding is a brick that is put into children's personality. And a worker who works overseas for humanity is grown by a mother as well as a dictator who bombs his own people. In today's world, societies which cannot secure gender equality are obligated to stimulate in progress. As you can see, nations which exclude women are suffering from poverty. There is no possibility to separate women's rights from human rights. Gender inequality is perceived worse than racism at present day, and liberation of women isn't seen as a problem of minority but of social deployment. Today, countries work diligently to prevent discrimination and violence against women in national and international level. As Turkey, we contribute of these works, and by the national actions, we try to implement them. First and foremost, occasion of women to equal rights is important as its solid work sans justice. Participation of women to social life as equal individuals is a fundamental sign of modernity and development. Dear guests, if we analyze Turkish women historical, we see that Turkish woman has never been weak, but in contradiction, she is symbol of diligence, determination, and bravery. In orphan epigrams, it say, man governs the state. But now the state. But woman now the state. Turkish women always live and work side by side with Turkish men. They never failed in the areas of science and knowledge. In this respect, I believe that a lot of countries have things to learn from us. Today, Turkey is in the 18th biggest country with a population of approximately 75 million, 50.2%. Of the figure, man and 48.9% is woman. Women are strong in society where they constitute the half of the population. When we rose to the power as AK Party, we were aware that make women more effective in terms of rights, education, and capacity was primary matter to satisfy the goals like full democracy, development, and justice. Now our women take place in every area of life, education, arts, economy, and politics, thanks to revision of constitution and connection laws. In light of this revision, our women gain more power every day, more forward with our men. To catch up with our goals at the 100th anniversary of Republic of Turkey, i.e. 2033. Distinguished guests, during the history, Turkish Republic, many things have been done to enhance the status of our women. Turkish women gained the right to elect and be elected prior to that many Western countries. They had the right of the vote and stand for election in the local election in 1930, in local administrator elections in 1933, and also in general election in 1934. Regulations were made in civil code, labor law, and Turkish penal code. Besides this, Turkey wasn't indifferent to international improvements and signed the United Nations Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, CEDAW, in 1985. After accepting the United Nations Declaration on Elimination of Violence Against Women 1993, law on the protection of family was accepted. This law was amended in 2007 and 2012 and become more comprehensive to meet the requirements. The law was amended by receiving comments of all related public institutions, non-governmental organizations, bar and judges of family courts. The new law on protection of family and prevention of violence against women came into effect on March 2012. Besides, for effective application and raising awareness of the law on protection of family and prevention of violence against women, meetings were held with participation approximately 6,500 level administrators, 7 regions, and 60 cities. The Committee of Ministers of Council Europe approved the Council of Europe Convention on Preventing and Combating Violence Against Women in Istanbul in May 11, 2011, and Turkey was one of the signatories among 24 countries. The convention was approved by Grand National Assembly of Turkey without reservation on November 24, 2011. And it came into force on March 8, 2012. Turkey has been the only state approving the convention without reservation. Violence types in the context of convention aren't limited within the family. Violence against vulnerable groups like old, disabled, and refugee women are also included in the context of the convention. Besides, measures to force marriage and honor killings are also regulated comprehensively. The provision of the convention requires states to act in framework of duty of care. In this context, state will be responsible for every case of violence against women and violence within the house that is not prevented and will pay compensation. Fire, health, and social service will be provided by state to individuals whose health is deteriorated because of violence. With amendments made to the 10th article of the Constitution in 2004 and 2010, significant progress has been made towards equality between men and women. Men and women have equal rights. State is responsible to realize this equality provision was added to the above-mentioned article of the Constitution in 2004. Measures to be taken within this intention shall not be interpreted as contrary to equality principle. Provision was also added in 2010. Thus, positive discrimination towards women is also strengthened in our Constitution. Contemporary regulations were made in new Turkish Penal Code regarding equality between men and women and violence against women in 2005. Prime Minister's circular regarding elimination of violent actions against children and women and honor killings was issued. The Committee on Equal Opportunity for Women and Men was established in the Grand National Assembly of Turkey in 2009. It has an important role in the application of women and men equality and offering solutions to the problem files. The committee manifests the issue of equality between men and women in top-level state in serious manner through research and studies. The Prime Minister's circular titled Increasing Women Labor and Maintaining Equal Opportunity came into force in May 2010. Distinguished guests, we have catch up within the European Union in terms of legal standards. With other administrative regulations and campaigns, we continue to convey our women to a stronger position. General Directorate of Status of Women has given seminars on gender and gender equality. Via these seminars, we have reached out to 2,100 high-level managers. Protocols devoted to women have been signed with many public institutions, and education campaigns have been initiated to raise awareness among public and civil servants on this matter. Works of raising awareness among the public, informing the public, have continued with the organization of our Minister of Family and Social Policies education programs like Family Education, National Family Education, and Human Rights of Women Education program are being performed. Besides 106 women guest houses which employ a capacity of 2,453 stations have been set up in 81 cities for supporting and directing women who are exposed to violence. At the same time, works on setting up centers for preventing and watching violence, which will work on 7-day, 24-hour basis continues. When we checked the applications, we saw that education is one of the most important tools in strengthening individuals and one of the most important elements in transforming mindsets. Is why we organize campaigns to diminish the gap of schooling between boys and girls. We provided financial aid families who couldn't send their daughters to school. We gave these 8 mothers the schooling rate of girls is now catch up with that of boys. With campaign, Hey Girls, Let's Go to School, released between 2003 and 2010. Gender equality in primary education enhanced. With this campaign, 200,000 girls have registered for primary education. When this campaign was initiated, gender gap in primary education was 7.15% in 2008 and 2009. This gap has fallen to 1.02%. With the campaign Mother-Daughter in School Together, approximately 2 million women learned how to read and write. Then again, we're expecting a serious rise in general education level of public, with compulsory schooling rising from 8 years to 12. By setting up universities in every single city, we raised opportunity to access to higher education, especially for girls. Today, in our 12% of all high-level managers are women. With our policies of supporting women employment, the rate of employment among was increased to 30%. We aim to further increase this rate with planned part-time schedules and flexible models like work at home and co-working with the framework of our 2023 vision. We aim for 38% in women employment. In order to adjust women's work and family life, we are working on matters like raising the maternity leave to 24 weeks. Allowing the woman go back working after maternity leave, calculating time elapsed during maternity leave in rank calculations of civil servant, increasing the support for children, obligation for public institutions, open kindergartens and reducing retirement age with respect to the number of children a woman has. To stabilize family and work life, we have started to open kindergartens in organized industrial zones. With the parliamentary elections of June 12, 2011, the number of women parliamentarians has reached to 79. With this number, the 4% threshold that could have never existed in history of our republic since Atatürk era has reached to 14.3%. On the other hand, with approximately 3 million members, Women's Branch of Justice and Development Party has become world's biggest non-governmental women organization. Distinguished audience, like John Stuart Mill, who said, the social position of women is surest test and most correct measure of civilization of people or an age. We believe that women will make this world a better place. Struggle for women's rights is struggle for women's rights is equality, a struggle for democratization, a struggle for mental transformation. Violence against women means blocking women's basic rights and freedom. In this struggle, we took part with all our being, our actions, our goals. With our works, with the decisive and stable policies we carry on, we are advancing to fully developed, full democratized, strong Turkey, step by step, where women and men are equal. I thank everybody who made an effort, worked and contributed to this objective, and I salute all our women. Thank you.
Derya Hanım, thank you. Our next speaker is Rana Tezcan Açıkgöz. She is the Vice President of TUSKON, a Confederation of Businessmen and Industrialists of Turkey, and the Executive Board Member of the Kozla Women and Business Association. She has worked in different companies in different sectors as a legal advisor from 2000 to 2012, and she's been working as a legal affairs manager since the beginning of 2012 in a private company operating in the energy sector. And she graduated from Marmara University Faculty of Law and received her master's degree on EU law. Please join me in welcoming.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Before I start, I would like to say that I'm very much pleased to be here, and I would like to thank the Middle East Institute for organizing such an important event. I want to share two basic points which I see as crucial for women in business life. As we all know, Turkey showed a big progress in especially economic means in the last 10 years. Political stability brought together confidence and economic growth. EU accession process and legislative revisions are all part of this progress. Of course, Turkey has to continue its way, since Turkey has an important economic goal to be achieved by 2023. For achieving this goal, one of the major steps to be taken is to encourage women to participate to work life more than it is now, because the number of women that can join the economy will have an important impact in catching this goal. I see women as an important component of economic growth. Therefore, this has to be accepted as a part of economy policy, also aside being a social policy. Because even though there are important steps taken in Turkey towards the encouragement of women to contribute into work life, female participation is still low when compared to advanced countries. However, we cannot underestimate the rising female participation in all levels of work life, but still the numbers are not satisfactory for a country who has shown important success in economic progress, who has a young population, and who has strong goals for the future. So it's doubtless that we have to come to a better position. As our Member of Parliament, Ms. Derya Hanım, gave some precious information about the legal achievements until now, I would like to emphasize on a couple of points about what would be very crucial for getting women more included into work life. As a member and as a representative of an NGO with a large number of members from all over Turkey and from different sizes of companies, I think that NGO initiative is very crucial to provide challenging opportunities for women. I will explain this by mentioning about business women's forums that we organize as TUSKON. As you may know, TUSKON is one of the widest spread NGO in Turkey with approximately 1,000 businesswomen members among all. We have 8 women in the executive board, and we will intensify our trade programs for women even more. Being conscious that women's participation could provide a diversity in many aspects, knowing that there is a potential that needs to be encouraged, and as an NGO with social responsibility and sensitiveness, we decided to organize trade events for business women. Actually, business women were always active in our trade events, but observing the importance, we prioritized these events only for women as a reflection of our positive discrimination idea. Turning back to the Business Women Forum that I was mentioning, once we launched these programs, we were very impressed of the enormous interest women showed by participating from different parts of Turkey. That's why I think that finding methods of encouragement to carry more women on the stage is very important. Therefore, NGO initiatives are very important to serve for Turkey's progress road. In Turkey, there are lots of NGOs that have important projects and studies which will help this process. Therefore, if we find the right methods that will help these potentials to come on the stage, we will be able to observe the challenges that women can bring. Another important point that I want to share is that women need to be confident when working. This means that women have to be protected from any kind of unfair treatment like gender discrimination in recruitment and promotions, equal pay, discrimination, providing necessary access to maternal benefits, and these kinds of very basic, easy, but very important issues. I'm not going to enter into explaining these topics as we all know about the rights and the implementations. Only point which I think is important is expanding the current rights a little bit more. There is a new study for a change of law which will provide women to benefit from longer maternity leave periods, which will be a very significant step to provide an increase of women who have babies to turn back working. But of course, this will have to be supported by effective controlling methods, because otherwise bringing new regulations will not make any sense. Therefore, if we want to talk about women in Turkey, new challenges and new opportunities, we can say that we need NGO participation as well as well-planned social policies and legislative harmonization with advanced countries, and maybe the most important is effective controlling mechanisms. Thank you.
Rana Hanım, thank you very much. And our final speaker is Ms. Saime Baran Yıldız. She is also an executive board member of TUSKON and an executive board member of the Koza Women and Business Association. For the last 15 years, she's been working in the petrochemical industry. She graduated from the Business and Commerce University in Turkey. Simon. Oh, in France, sorry.
Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you for hosting us. Thank you to be here, to spare your time for us. I would like to approach the subject through my own experience. through the personal experience I had in Turkey. In fact, I studied in France, and I came back to Turkey about 15 years ago. So when I first came, in my mind, I was full of prejudices, full of false ideas about my own country, perhaps because of all the ideas inoculated in Europe. When I arrived, I started to work in the petrochemical industry in a very male-dominated business. What impressed me, the first thing, what impressed me was the dominance of women, even in this industry. That was really interesting to me. The percentage of ladies in this business was very important, and their weight was very important. They were really dominant. So it was not the case in Europe, in fact, in this business. So today the picture is even more impressive to me, and in a so-called culture dominated by men. So the presence of women in each layers of the hierarchy in Turkey represents something like 20 to 30%, and the upper you go on the layers of the hierarchy, the more you find women. So from 20 to 30% of the women in the hierarchy. 30% of, in the very high, in the top management, 30% of the people are women. In the CEOs, to give you another idea, 12% of the CEOs are women in Turkey, whereas the worldwide average is 5%, and the maximum is 13%. So we are very well positioned. I recently read a report, a European report on concerning the presence of women in the major companies, and Turkey is at the second on the ranking regarding the presence of women in the first 100 main companies. So what impressed me was also the self-confidence of ladies. I'm always very impressed by their ambitions and their ability to impose themselves. Let's say as a French, because of my experience, I studied in France, etc., and I was looking at them with my French glasses, and I was really impressed. So they impose themselves in business, and in return, they got the trust and the respect from their male partners and managers and colleagues, let's say. Again, in return, they have a quite high salary versus men. Another European studies shows that the difference of the salaries for the same job in Europe between men and women is about 22%. I learned this morning that it is 30% in United States, and in Turkey, guess what is the difference? The high level, 1%. Yes. So regarding the type of the jobs they are working in, you have, let's say, the traditional one, but also the non-traditional. I talked to you about petrochemical industry, but in all areas, in building, you can find a woman. Again, these ambitious women, they are everywhere. Even if the global number is not sufficient, of course, I'm not saying that it is totally dreaming situation, but to show that they can really access very high level. So today it is said that Turkey is a patriarchal society. So again, we have to go deeper in this observation and analyze that what it means in the real life. So I really reject based on my experience, that this is an obstacle for women, even if males seem to be dominating. Cultural codes are different, and women benefits from the support of men. I personally really enjoyed working in Turkey these last years, and I never felt any competition between women and men. Contrary to that, and really I can say it based on my own experience, you are supported as a woman. So I really enjoyed this. this means that you have really extra respect, you are supported, men around you are helpful, they are more tolerant because you are a woman, and you never pay the bill of the restaurant. So this is perfect. So it is all bonus for women. So again, we are very far from the gender fight, really. It is because it is really cultural. So there are many technical aspects to work on. As I said, it is not a dreamy situation, but it is the situation is very hopeful. We have so many good examples. There is still problems on the education. Women still have to be more present on the labor force, and there is the question of gender violence in Turkey, as we have it also everywhere, unfortunately. So there is definitely an awareness in the country about these sensitive matters. Another characteristic of Turkish people is their deep sensibility and their empathy regarding the human concerns. Added to that, a fantastic ability to accept changes and to adapt themselves to the new conditions. And really, if I have to say only one thing about Turkish people, this amazing ability to adapt, to change, to accept new things. And this is not what I experienced really in Europe. So, another thing very interesting in Turkey, it is the respect of the hierarchy and the respect of the knowledge. I suppose this is why women can go very higher in their careers, because when they are educated, when they have the knowledge, they got automatically the respect of men and of everybody. So this cultural characteristic is extremely important and a key factor regarding the gender relationships. To give few other figures, 30% of the academicians are women in Turkey, and in professions like doctors, surgeons, lawyers, architects, the proportion is about 25 to 30 also. This picture is extremely interesting and shows us the most important point regarding what we can expect for the future. These female pioneers are representing a good example and a role model for coming generation, not only for girls but also for men, for young boys. So we had the concrete proof that this is possible in Turkey. This is possible. So, and the social and economical environment is really favorable to that. We just have to continue to work. Doors are really open. Today, the point is to focus on the elevation of the general education. If we could achieve that in the primary level, there is still many things to do in the high-level education. In the very high university, for the very high university level, the presence of women is only 6%. But we saw that despite that, I mean, these 6% are very efficient because they could get 12% of the very highest responsibilities in the professional life. All the awareness-raising projects and campaigns have been supported with a great enthusiasm in the population, thanks to the NGOs also. It is to emphasize the, let's say, the reactivity of Turkish people. We are ready to change. We feel concerned about everything which happens. So the machine of progress is running in the country. There is no cultural or social or male obstacle for us and for the success of the gender equality. The challenges for coming years is about, I think, the politics. The presence of women in politics is certainly not efficient, not enough. We went from 9% to 15%, I mean, the presence of women in the parliaments. But I suppose when I see what is done by women, I think coming years we should have very good, very good improvements, because really there is in the work in the basis. So this is what I can say about that. I will just add something. Again, I'm very amazed about what's happening in Turkey. This is really this is a big matter of enthusiasm. But there is something which makes me a bit afraid. One of the most important things in our culture is the importance of the family. So we are pushing women. In fact, we are not pushing them too much. They are ready to run. But the family aspect, how will we be able to protect the family aspect in the future? So I think this is something we should preserve, the specificity in our culture, try to combine both things, and hope it will be going well. Thank you for listening.
Simon, thank you so much. It was really refreshing to hear your perspective as a Turkish woman lived in Europe. And I think all the presentations complemented each other, and I'm sure you all have questions. So we have 3 mics, and the floor is now open for questions. Please wait for the mics and identify yourselves. We'll start with the ladies.
Hi, Pinar Ersoy from Turkish Daily Milliyet. You've painted quite a positive picture for women in Turkey, and not that it's not true, but I would really like to hear more about what you think are the problems in Turkey in terms of women. We've had a lot of, the honor killings and the debate on abortion, and the Prime Minister asking women to make at least 3 kids. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts about those matters.
Şimdi bununla ilgili kanunu düzenleme yapılmıştır ülkemizde. Buna teşvik eden kişiler de tahrik cezasından, tahrik indiriminden yararlanamayacağı, buna teşvik eden kişilerin de tahrik indiriminden yararlanamayacağı, her haksız fiilin de haksız tahrik oluşturamayacağı madde anlamında olmuştur. Kasten
We have, as the government, we have carried out reforms in order to address that question.
Kasten öldürme suçunun ağırlaştırılmış müebbet hapis cezasını gerektiren nitelikli haller olduğunu düzenlediği maddeye göre töre sahikiyle ifadesi eklenerek töre cinayet faillerinin en yüksek ceza ile cezalandırılması kabul edilmiştir.
So now there is a law passed by the parliament which makes honor killings, which basically sentences those who have committed honor killings. Is it lifetime? Lifetime sentence.
Yine bu durumun kadın üzerinde yarattığı psikolojik etkinin de telafisi açısından ruh sağlığının tehlikeye girmesi durumunda mağdurun bitkisel hayata girmesi ve ölümü halinde de yine o kişiye ağırlaştırılmış müebbet hapis cezası verilmektedir.
And it's not just necessarily if the woman even not murdered, because of the psychological trauma that she goes through, the killer is sentenced to lifetime.
For my concern, it's okay. Go on. Okay, concerning the honor killings, it is an obsessive subject. I personally, I believe that it is not happening on each corners. Even if it happened once, it is not acceptable. We have to fight against that. It is a barbarian crime. But talking about Turkish women on the honor killing, it is serving nobody. We have to work on that. And I think that Yes, for my concern, I talked about very positive things, but these positive things are about real life. And regarding the 3 kids you said, what was your point? I have 3 kids, and I think that this is.
Good for you. I mean, I envy you, but it's I'm not trying to criticize.
No.
I think the portrait you've put out there is very interesting, and and it's part of the reality. I'm just very curious to hear about your feelings when there's all this debate about women's lives, and when we have politicians who talk about how women should lead their lives. I mean, you can make 5 kids or 0 kids.
But I think that when it is that I'm not politician, I'm not the advocate of the policies of AKP. Just as an individual, I mean, I can understand there is a global message. I am for the family. I think so. This is a message, but it is up to anybody to decide about their family. And I agree with you. This is extremely important. This is the choice, the personal choice.
Yes, please. And then the gentleman over there.
Thank you. My name is Inci Bowman. I live here. I'm from the International Committee for Crimea. I thank you for your nice presentations, and I congratulate the Middle East Institute for organizing this event. I have, as I listened, I was wondering, Mrs. Yıldız mainly, you were saying that once the women make it to the very top, they're just fine. You know, they're almost equal. They are equal to men. This is very encouraging, of course. And I was wondering what the source of inspiration, what is the drive that urges people, women, to reach to the top? What is it in the Turkish culture that drives these women to reach to the top? And I'm sure maybe that some people will get mad at me now. It's not Quran, but there is something else. Am I making clear? Why, in a Turkish culture, in an Islamic culture, what is it that drives these women to reach to the top? What do you think?
Can we get another question and then you can answer? The gentleman over there.
My name is Richard Hall, and I just spent 2 years with my wife. She was teaching in Turkey, and I followed the proposed new school education, or the AKP, and about changing the system slightly. And we heard some commenters saying it might injure or hurt young girls' education in the rural parts of the country. I just want to know whether anybody had a view about primary and secondary education and the changes.
Simon, would you like to start with the first question?
In fact, I do not really see the link between the religion and the fact that women are very combative. Is there a link? It is, I don't know. But I have to say that the Turkish lady is a very combative, a very dynamic person, and luckily there is no pressure from men. There is no barrier for men when she wants to go up. I don't know. I suppose you have something in mind, perhaps, when you ask this question, because I do not see the link with religion. The religion is not preventing a woman to work and to go to the top. To give you an example, the wife of the Prophet, Hatice, is an example. She's a businesswoman. She's a businesswoman, and she's a reference. So, and 6 kids. Yes, with a very supportive husband. This is not always easy to do.
Öncelikle kadını üste taşımak dediniz. Aile bizim temel taşımız. Tamam. Aile bizim temel unsurumuz. Kadın ve erkeği bir bütün olarak düşünüyoruz. İkisi birbirini tamamlayan bir unsur.
Family is very important in Turkish culture, and men and women, they complement each other.
Toplumumuzun yarısını kadınlar oluşturuyor. Kadının güçlenmesi, ekonomiye katılması bizim ekonomimizi de üste taşıyacaktır.
And 50% of Turkish population is women, and empowering women is going to strengthen the economy.
Ayrıca kadının güçlenmesi, genç nesillerimizi yetiştiren annelerin güçlenmesi bizim gelecek kuşaklar adına ülkemizin güçlenmesi anlamına gelmektedir.
And also empowering women means empowering next generation, and that means a stronger Turkey.
Diğer bir konu kız çocuklarının okula gitmesiyle ilgili hükümetimiz ne yaptı? Okuma yazma bilmeyen annelerimiz ve kızlarımız vardı. Haydi Kızlar Okula kampanyasında anneyi ve kızı birlikte okula gönderdik.
We have, in order to educate girls, we have launched a project that will send both mothers and girls, illiterate mothers and girls to school.
Her şehirde üniversite olmasını istedik. Çünkü bazı aileler kız çocuklarını başka şehire göndermek istemiyordu.
And we also supported the establishment of universities in every town, because some parents, they do not in cities because some of them, they don't want to send their daughters to different places, so that's why we supported new universities in every city.
Başbakanımız özellikle her şehirde bir üniversite olacak dedi.
And especially our Prime Minister supported this idea.
Ayrıca maddi durumu olmayan ailelere, annelere teslim edilmek üzere her çocuk için aylık 45 lira veriliyor.
So within so as part of this program, we are for poor families, the government is now giving money to these families for each daughter they have.
Ayrıca gelir düzeyinden kaynaklanan ülke içindeki farklılığı ortadan kaldırmak için de bütün öğrencilerin kitapları devlet tarafından dağıtılıyor.
And also, in order to provide quality education, the government has been helping the families with the school needs of their children.
Textbooks.
Yes.
Textbooks. Yes. Textbooks and üniversiteye kayıt yaptırırken yatırılan harç paraları da bu yıl devlet tarafından karşılandı.
And also, if you wanna enroll in a university, you're supposed to pay some money, and that's also being covered by the government.
Thank you.
Ihsan, and one more. I think, did I see a hand there? Okay, this gentleman over here. Can we have the mic?
I want to ask.
Can you wait for the mic, please? Thank you.
I want to ask to Mrs. Bakbak, while representing thousands of people in the National Assembly, you are caring for your family. How can you do that? Because my mother is a teacher, and they are doing lots of events in the school. Sometimes I ask my mother, your students or me, you must choose one. But your children can't ask thousands of people or me. How can you balance it?
İki tane çocuğum var. 18 yaşında ve 13 yaşında iki oğlum var. Oğlum üniversitede okuyor, büyük oğlum.
I have two sons, one 18 years old and the other one 13.
Çocuklar dünyanın en güzel şeyleri.
And the children are the best thing in the world.
Milletvekilliğinin de üstünde.
And it's even more important than serving your country.
Eğitimi, çalışmayı da seviyorum, çocuklarımı da seviyorum, işimi de seviyorum. İnsan istediği zaman hepsine ulaşabiliyor. Önemli olan kısa zamanda kaliteli zaman geçirmek.
I love my job, I love my family, I love my son, and I think you can do everything at the same time. You just need to have some quality time with your family. Thank you. One more question.
Yes, my name is Robert Moses. I'm just a citizen. I work for Alliance for Global Justice, but I'm here as a citizen. And I'm wondering what the healthcare system is in the country.
Sağlık devlet tarafından destekleniyor. Bu konuda çok güzel çalışmalar yapıldı. Bağkur sigorta sistemi kullanılıyor. Sigorta sistemine geçildi. Herkes bütün hastanelerde tedavi görebiliyor.
Well, the government covers some of the health expenses, and each citizen can go to a hospital in its neighborhood.
Evet, aile hekimliği sistemi bulunmakta. Her mahallede her ailenin kendine ait bir doktoru bulunuyor.
And every family has a primary care physician.
Onun yönlendirmesiyle bütün hastanelerde tedavisini görebiliyor ve bazı hastalıklar da tamamen devlet tarafından karşılanıyor.
So everyone can go to any hospital that he or she picks, and and some illnesses are covered by the government entirely.
Büyük bölge hastaneleri kuruldu büyük şehirlerde ve bunlar şu anda o bölgenin Türkiye dışından da sağlık merkezi durumuna geldi.
And then now there are regional hospitals. So we have founded regional hospitals in big cities in Turkey, and we even draw people from the Middle East, the rest of the region.
Can I just add something to this healthcare?
Sure.
I'm just going to add something from the audience. I live here, but I go to Turkey twice a year, and I live there. I stay there a month each time, and I have physician cousins. So from their point of view, I think all the developments, modern developments in medicine, they are quickly available in Turkey. So that's not a problem. But how these developments are handed down to hospitals in towns, it's a different matter. They say that knowledge of medicine is very good. You know, the physicians really are up with the developments, but the care, medical care, is not as good as it would be in this country. If anyone wants to challenge me, I would welcome it. I used to work for a medical school, so I'm interested in these issues.
Daha önce hastane kuyrukları, ilaç kuyruklarımız vardı. Bu hükümet, yani bizim hükümetimiz döneminde, evet, hükümetimiz döneminde gerçekten bunlar kalktı ve doğuda kar şartlarından dolayı şartlar çok ağır oluyor. Bu anlamda sağlık hizmeti eskiden ulaştırılamıyordu. Şimdi helikopterle dağda bulunan çobanı bile anında helikopterle sağlık hizmeti ulaştırabiliyoruz.
There used to be long lines at the hospitals, but our government launched programs to fix the problem, and because of the climate, especially in the eastern part of the country, it was really difficult for these people to get health care, but we fixed that as well.
Hi, my name is Osnur. I appreciate the question about healthcare, and I appreciate her input. I want to give an example to challenge her. For example, I'm coming from southern part of Turkey, and because of government made some changes about healthcare, my mom has never formal education, even though she doesn't, and I have many siblings. And because of the changes, she has free health security. She could go to doctor, and she doesn't have to pay. And it's called green card. I don't know what is the equivalent to say in English. Probably it's like free health care for people who cannot afford. And also, there is Bağkur. For example, my mom doesn't have any education, and I have 10 siblings, and my siblings who are younger than 25 can get free health benefit with showing the legitimate evidence that they cannot afford. And if I was in Turkey, I would definitely get benefit of that. So there are a lot of issues in healthcare system everywhere, even in the US. You know, when you look in the elections partly about healthcare, partly about economy, right? And there were many homeless people in this country, so it is given in any country. So it's not about only Turkey. There are a lot of vulnerabilities in any system, but I appreciate for Mrs. Bakbak points out that the system is changing, and I think she's right, and I would like to challenge her.
Thank you.
Quality of medical care.
Quality is everywhere.
Yes.
Even in the US.
Okay, let's get another question because we are running out of time. Any other questions from the audience? Yes, please. Thank you.
I was just curious if there's a lot of variation within Turkey in terms of how women are treated, or if Istanbul and Ankara are quite different from the rest of the country. I guess that would be for all the panelists.
Would you like to address that question? Kadına farklı davranılıyor İstanbul'da, Ankara'da, şehirler bazında diyor. Bunun hakkında bir şey söyleyebilir misiniz diyor.
Yani kadınla farklılık, İstanbul'da tabii yaşam şartları çok farklı. Doğudaki yaşam şartları ile İstanbul'daki yaşam şartları çok farklı. Karadeniz'deki yaşam şartları çok farklı. Karadeniz'de kadın tarımda çalışıyordur, sırtına yeri geliyor, yakacağını getiriyordur. Farklı alanlarda ihtiyacını giderecek şekilde. Her bölgenin ihtiyaçları farklı olduğu için kadınların pozisyonları da farklı. Bu anlamda farklılıklar var. Tabii Güneydoğu'da daha farklı ama zaten bizim de bu yönde bunları giderecek şekilde çalışmalarımız devam etmekte.
Well, we could explain that variation with living standards are different in each city. It's different in Istanbul and it's different in the southern or the Kurdish part of the country, and it has something to do with the education level, and we're trying to fix it. Okay, I would like to ask one question and then we can finalize our panel. Rana Hanım, TUSCON is really, it's very active in the Middle East. And my question is it a female-friendly environment? And if it is, which sectors are the most popular for business women?
I understand. Thank you. TUSCON is... as I stated when I was speaking, is one of the widely spread NGOs in Turkey. Is it okay now? All right. I'm taking from back. TUSCON is one of the widest spread NGOs in Turkey. And TUSCON has a main goal, which is to help its members to open to global markets. Of course, there are business women under TUSCON umbrella. And starting from last year, TUSCON has started a new program which will be only directed to businesswomen to help businesswomen contribute to business life and to open to global markets. This will be made as just only special to women as opposed to discrimination. They're not specific sectors actually. I mean, TUSCON has 5 representatives in all around the world, and we have 140 partners again in all around the world. So we can have information from all of those countries and make determinations and understand the needs and understand the needs for different investments in different countries. So TUSCON is being a reference point, a trustable point for businesswomen and business people to open to global markets. And as I said, there is no special sector about women, but this is what TUSCON does. It just puts the picture, and it just encourages its members and the businesswomen also to go and invest and to go and make trade in all around the world.
Well, great. Thank you all for coming, and thank you, and thanks to our speakers.